Hey guys, welcome to the 40 Hike Challenge. Hike number 1, the Great Smokies. Clingmans Dome is the beginning of North Carolina's Mountains to Sea Trail for eastbound hikers or a dramatic finish for westbounders. It also marks the first in a series of 40 day hikes on the MST. At an elevation of 6,643 feet, Clingmans Dome is the highest point on the Appalachian Trail, the third highest point in eastern North America after Mount Mitchell and Mount Craig, and the highest peak in Tennessee. Back in the 1800s, a dispute arose between Dr. Elijah Mitchell and Thomas Clingman over the measurement of the highest peak in the region. Dr. Mitchell, a professor at the University of North Carolina, claimed that Black Dome, later named Mount Mitchell, was the highest based on his measurements. Clingman, a rival explorer, politician, and former student of Dr. Mitchell, contested this, arguing that Smoky Dome, now known as Clingmans Dome, was higher. This controversy persisted for years and ultimately led to Mitchell's tragic demise when he fell to his death in 1857 while attempting to verify his measurements. Despite the disagreement, Mount Mitchell is now widely recognized as the highest peak east of the Mississippi River, while Clingmans Dome holds the distinction of being the highest peak in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Long before this dispute, the mountain known today as Clingmans Dome was a sacred place for the Cherokee people, who called it Kewohee, meaning mulberry place. Around 1859, geographer Arnold Guyot determined that Mount Mitchell was 39 feet higher and named a neighboring summit Clingmans Dome, disregarding the Cherokee's ancestral name. Recently, efforts have been made to restore the name Kewohee to honor its original significance to the Cherokee people. All right, here we are, the western terminus of the Mountains to Sea Trail. And we'll be hiking along the AT and the MST. So hey, it's like bonus trail miles. And awesome news, I just ran into Sharon. I met at the Friends of the MST gathering at Lake Junaluska. And they are hiking this trail today also. And I can get a ride back so I don't have to hike both ways. I'm so excited. This is wonderful. Let's see. So it continues to the right here. It's 4 miles almost to Mount Collins Shelter. MST to the right. Beautiful trail here. This is hike number 1, if I haven't mentioned that already. Clingmans Dome to I think it's Fork Ridge Gap. I got super lucky and I have a ride now at the end of this one. But it is, I believe, 4.6 miles. There's a bit of elevation change. It would have been, like 9 miles both ways, and kind of still recovering from September. So I'm happy. Guys, the smell here, it's like you're inside of a Christmas tree. It reminds me of Mount Mitchell. The southern Appalachians boast the highest peaks east of the Mississippi River, featuring forests primarily composed of Fraser fir and red spruce, relics from the last ice age. This unique ecosystem resembles the landscapes of Canada more than those typically found in the southeastern United States. The damp, cool forest floor is abundant with bryophytes, such as mosses and liverworts. Growing along rocks, mats of moss with just the right moisture and thickness provide home for a surprising inhabitant. I hope you're not afraid of spiders. The world's smallest tarantula. The rare and harmless spruce fir moss spider, about the size of a pencil eraser, isn't actually a tarantula, but it is related. Its tiny size and unique habitat make it just as fascinating. Its entire global distribution is confined to fewer than 25 mountaintops across 6 high elevation areas in the southern Appalachians: the Virginia Balsam Mountains, Grandfather Mountain, Roan Mountain in North Carolina and Tennessee, the Plot and Black Mountains in North Carolina, and here in the Great Smoky Mountains in North Carolina and Tennessee. The spruce fir moss spider was federally listed as an endangered species in 1995 due to the widespread decline of Fraser fir trees, which began in the 1950s. This decline was largely caused by the balsam woolly adelgid, a tiny fluffy white insect from Europe whose toxic saliva eventually kills the trees. By the 1980s, nearly 70% of adult Fraser firs had succumbed to the adelgid. When the forest canopy thins, the moss mats are exposed to sunlight and dry out, decreasing the available habitat for the spider. Fortunately, the Fraser fir has been making a comeback in the past few decades. However, spruce fir forests still face numerous challenges, particularly climate change, which worsens problems with invasive species. These ancient mountaintops are sometimes referred to as sky islands because they're unlike anything else in the south and are home to plants and animals you won't find anywhere else in the world. This temperate rainforest of the southern Appalachians is among my favorite places to hike in North Carolina. And you'll notice I didn't have much to say to the camera as I took in all the sights, sounds, and smells. I know I haven't had a lot to say out here, but it's warmed up slightly as we're losing elevation some and got off that windy ridge. I've seen a few folks on trail, but not too many. Sounds like this, I'm glad I'm going downhill. It's the first time I can see the road from the hike. It's sort of kind of a landmark. Check the map. I checked the Gaia GPS in between Mount Love and Mount Collins. So, not sure how far that is along the trail, but I know where I'm at. I can see cars going by from this point. I guess if you had to bail, the road's right there for you. I'm not out of breath. I'm really excited to tell you this is the first uphill since Clingmans Dome. It's all been downhill. I'm still on the way up Mount Collins. Whew. That trail marshal started his through hike the beginning of the year So he came through here during the wintertime. Man, that's a badass dude. That or crazy, or both. Whew. I'm sitting here at the false summit of Mount Collins. Still got a ways to go up, but there was a fine sitting log here. So I'm gonna rate that sitting log. It's like maybe like a 3 out of 5. A little low to the ground, but it's nice and flat and conveniently located. So moving on. Yep, here we go again uphill. This time the top will be Mount Collins. Flatten out here for a second. I don't know if I trust it. I can tell this is part of the AT. Just going straight uphill. Filling in those switchbacks. Oh, I'm sitting here close to the summit of Mount Collins. Nice little view here. The smell here is like a dirty sock inside a Christmas tree, or like a Christmas stocking that got flushed down the toilet. Oh, it makes that smell. It looks like I'm about mile 3.6 or so, right before the summit of Mount Collins. So, 4.5 mile hike. I got about a mile to go. And I don't have to walk back. Like we're headed back down. Nice boulder. Been going steadily downhill since Mount Collins. Trail's flattened out through here. Supposed to be an intersection coming up that will go straight through. Yeah, here we go. Sugarland, the mountain trail. Mount Collins shelter is to the left, 0.5 miles. AT, Fork Ridge Trail, that's where we're going. It's to the right. Clingmans Dome. It says 3.4 miles back up that way. Newfound Gap, 4.5 miles that way. All right, I just came from that way. The sign says Fork Ridge Trail, so that's my intersection to turn right. If you continued on the AT, it's 4.3 miles to Newfound Gap. But I think it's only like 125 feet to the parking area from here. So, woo! No dogs at all on this trail. After waiting a short while, as Sharon figured out where she'd parked her car, we rode back up to the main parking area. By this time, the entire lot was full, and cars were lined up about a half mile to the entrance. As I got back in my car, there was even a line to get back out. If possible, I'd avoid weekends and holidays for this hike. While entry remains free, starting March 1st, 2023, you must purchase a parking tag to park anywhere in the Great Smokies National Park for longer than 15 minutes. This Park It Forward program was implemented due to a large increase in visitation over the past decade without a proportional increase in funding. The revenue generated is intended to go towards things like adding parking spaces, increasing the search and rescue program, hiring new park rangers, and repairing facilities. If you have experience with the new parking tag program, let me know how it's going in the comments. I'd also like to hear your thoughts on the proposed name change for Clingmans Dome. And finally, thank you so much for your support. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe so you'll be notified about new content. I've been working on this 40 hike challenge series for a while now, and I still have a few more videos to go. Meanwhile, you can check out some of my previous hikes on the Mountainous Sea Trail.